Hello and welcome to World at Noon on Osrc TV. I am Obi Chukwemekauti. Organized Labour has insisted on its 250,000 naira new minimum wage proposal, saying it will not negotiate wage. NLC President of Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajero, said Labour would not accept the latest offer of 62,000 naira and 100,000 naira proposal made by some individuals and economists. He explained that Labour could not embark on strike because the president had yet to communicate his decision on the figures presented by the Tripartite Committee. Ajero expressed hope that President Bola Tinubu will do the right thing. The NLC president berated state governors under the umbrella body of the Nigeria Governors Forum for rejecting the 62,000 naira minimum wage proposal. The Ondo State government has reassured residents of its unwavering commitment to maintaining and expanding programs that positively impact their lives. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who reinforced his dedication to the welfare and development of citizens, said every effort will be made to activate plans that engender rapid and overall development of the state. The governor acknowledged and thanked members of the All Progressives Congress APC for their unwavering support, which paved the way for his successful emergence as the party's standard bearer in the forthcoming governorship election. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details. We hope to bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. A bill to prohibit forceful entry and illegal occupation of landed property, violent and fraudulent conducts in Ondo State has passed second reading at the State Assembly. The bill, which was committed to Committee on Lands and Housing for proper scrutiny, seeks to provide stringent measures to address the rising incidence of illegal land acquisition and protect legitimate landowners across the state.
The menace of land grabbing has emerged as a significant challenge in Ondo State, with far-reaching consequences for individuals, communities, and the broader socio-economy of the state. This illegal practice, characterized by the forceful acquisition and occupation of land by unscrupulous individuals and groups, has led to a cascade of adverse effects. And to nip the incessant activities of land grabbers in the bud, Ondo State House of Assembly took a significant legislative move with a bill for a law to prohibit forceful entry and illegal occupation of landed property, violent and fraudulent conduct in the state. The proposed legislation, titled the Anti-Land Grabbing Bill 2024, seeks to provide stringent measures to address the rising incidence of illegal land acquisition and protect legitimate landowners. While presenting the bill on the floor of the House, the lawmaker representing Ondo West Constituency 1, Munyolorun Ogunwumiju, said the bill outlines comprehensive strategies to deter land grabbing, including severe penalties for offenders and the establishment of a special task force to oversee enforcement.
One of the outputs of the bill is that there was going to be a task force, a special task force, that will deal with such things to ensure that the full government infrastructure is given to that task force so that it can perform its roles. In situations like this, the task force will be tasked with ensuring that the right people who get true judgments from superior courts can enforce those judgments.
Ogunwumiju, who is also the Parliamentary Secretary of the House, emphasized the urgent need to address land grabbing in Ondo State, noting that it has become a menace that threatens the peace and economic stability of communities.
We all know that investors and financiers always look for stable and good areas to invest, and land grabbing has always been a thing that discourages investors and financiers.
Other lawmakers who spoke on the bill said, when passed into law, it will help restore confidence in land tenure system and discourage criminal elements from encroaching on people's lands. While committing the bill to the hands of Committee on Lands and Housing, the Speaker, Olamide Oladeji, expressed support to the bill, noting that it aligns with existing property laws and provides a clear legal pathway to address land disputes effectively.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. I have it.
When assented to, Ondo State will join other states in Nigeria that have enacted similar legislation to combat land grabbing. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
The federal government has declared tomorrow, June 12, public holiday to commemorate this year's Democracy Day. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, in a statement, congratulated Nigerians on the celebration that President Bola Tinubu is committed to positive reforms to revive the nation's economy and enhance security. The 6 governors of the Southwest Geopolitical Zone have appointed Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State the new chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum. Sanwo-Olu briefing the State House correspondents. The governors appointed him the new chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum to succeed the late Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu. However, he was silent on the decision taken on the issue of the ongoing minimum wage controversy between the federal government and organized labor. The governor rather said they await the outcome of negotiations between the two parties. ECOWAS Court of Justice sitting in Abuja has declined a request by former National Security Advisor Sambo Dux to enforce an October 4, 2016 judgment against the federal government. In the judgment delivered by the judge rapporteur, Justice Sengu Mohammed Kuroma, the ECOWAS court ruled that it lacked jurisdiction to entertain the application and dismissed the same without cost. Dasuki had alleged that he obtained a judgment from the court on October 4, 2016, declaring his arrest and detention unlawful and a violation of his rights under the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, ACHPR, and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR. He said that the court ordered the release of his seized properties and payment of 15 million naira in damages. The court dismissed the application after giving a directive as to the procedure for enforcement of its judgment as enshrined in the community law and the proper party to bring a claim for failure of non-enforcement. Chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, has issued a stern warning against corrupt practices by electoral officers, stressing that those found guilty would face severe consequences. Professor Yakubu gave the warning in Abuja ahead of the upcoming Edo and Ondo off-cycle governorship elections. He stressed the crucial role of professionalism and competence among election personnel in ensuring successful elections. The INEC boss also highlighted the necessity for election personnel to be knowledgeable, skilled, and equipped to handle the complexities of the electoral process. Yakubu added and assured that upcoming elections in Edo and Ondo would reflect a high standard of professionalism, technical competence, and the ability to address various challenges effectively. At least 39 people from the Horn of Africa have died after their boat capsized off the coast of Yemen. And local officials, the vessel carrying 260 migrants sank in strong winds. The search continues for 150 people who are still missing, while aid is being provided for 71 survivors. Fishermen and residents managed to rescue survivors who reported that some migrants were missing from the same boat. Local authorities in Rodum, east of Aden, said those on board were migrants mostly from Ethiopia who used Yemen as a transit point to reach Gulf states. A French police officer is being questioned after a 19-year-old man was allegedly shot dead as he attempted to flee a traffic stop for speeding. The among 3 people in the car when police tried to stop them near Chevangot-Conteton in Normandy, western France. The state prosecutor, Pierre Vesmarot, said the driver allegedly refused to stop and continued driving before being halted by a second police car. The prosecutor said 2 of the occupants escaped while the 3rd person was allegedly shot by an officer in the chest. The aircraft carrying Malawi's Vice President Carlos Chilema and 9 others has gone missing. According to the Malawi Defense Force, the went of the radar after it left the capital, Lilongwe, on Monday morning. The plane was supposed to land at Mzuzu International Airport in the country's north just after 10:00 hours local time. President Lazarus Chakwara said a search and rescue operation was continuing. Mr. Chakwara earlier cancelled his flight to the Bahamas, which was scheduled for Monday evening. More descendants have continued to flee to Western Europe following the unending difficult situation in the East. Recently, a group of dozen people from the Middle East tried to cross border in the forest from Belarus. Adirunke Kolawole has more.
Hamid, an English teacher from Syria, has tried 4 times to climb the fence along the Belarus border, waiting for a chance to head west into EU member Poland, where he could apply for asylum.
We came from war to find a good life. We came for peace. We are not against anybody here.
He is a part of a group of about a dozen people from the Middle East trying to cross the border in the forest. On the other side, armed Polish border guards and soldiers keep a close eye on the group. Prime Minister Donald Tusk's Central Civil Coalition Party came first in the European Parliament elections over the weekend, but gains by the far right in the vote, which calls for tougher border controls, will heighten tensions over migration. The standoff here has an extra geopolitical edge. Poland and the European Union have accused Belarus and Russia of trying to spread chaos since 2021 by pushing migrants over the frontier. Warsaw called it a hybrid war. Moscow and Minsk have dismissed the accusation. According to Polish government figures, the number of people arriving has been rising. Last week, a soldier patrolling the border died after succumbing to his wound from a confrontation with migrants on May 28. In response, Tusk's pro-EU government has announced plans to reintroduce a no-go zone along the frontier. Paweł Zelensky is the country's deputy defense minister.
I ta granica niestety bezpieczna nie jest.
This border is not safe, unfortunately. The purpose of this zone is to ensure that no one is exposed to the type of attack that Polish soldiers are exposed to.
Nie był narażony na tego typu atak, na jaki jest narażony, na jakie są narażeni polscy żołnierze.
Nauma Amyari, a 24-year-old graphic designer from Yemen, made it through the fence at the border. He had originally applied for a Polish student visa from Yemen, which was rejected. So he traveled to Moscow, then Belarus, and later the border area, where he spent 22 days.
There we had no food, no water. We've been starving and dying. The last day we crossed the Polish border.
How did you cross?
We jumped. We had a ladder, wooden ladder, and then we put it, and then we jumped. We ran from the forest, and then we contact the organization.
Agatha Lotekwa runs the organization Amyari contacted. She had come to the forest to help him and his 5 companions start the asylum application process and to inform border guards who will take them to a processing center.
The zone rules will affect us very much because you can do your professional work in this zone, but not voluntary one, for example, which will limit the number of people who can get in. It will require us to hide again and do some partisan work. What is more, and it is absurd, it will require the service members who are here to protect the borders to chase us. Therefore, it is a total waste of resources.
She said the no-go zone which is introduced, will make things even more difficult. Adirunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
Let's now turn our attention to China, where 4 U.S. university tutors are in hospital after they were stopped by an unknown assailant at a public park in China. The Iowa Cornell College instructors were injured in a serious incident during a daytime visit to the park in the northern province of Jilin. Iowa Representative Adam Zabner said his brother David was one of the 4 instructors injured in the incident, which he described as a stabbing. China's foreign ministry said that none of the injured are in a life-threatening condition. Mr. Zabner said the group had been visiting a local temple when they were attacked by a man with a knife. Now talking sports, Minister of Sports Development John Eno has summoned the Nigeria Football Federation and demanded a detailed technical report on the Super Eagles following their last 2 disappointing performances during the 2026 World Cup qualifying series in the June window. The Super Eagles managed to secure 1 point from a possible 6 following a 1-1 draw against South Africa at the Goswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo and losing 2-1 to Benin Republic in Abidjan. Eno expressed dissatisfaction with the outcome, especially considering the substantial support the NFF had received from President Bola Tinubu's administration and the positive working relationship between the ministry and the federation. Super Eagles currently sit 5th, while Benin Republic move up to the 1st place on the 6-team table. And the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) has sanctioned Enyimba and Rangers International for breaching its framework and rules in their March Day 35 encounter. The league governing body awarded 3 points and 3 goals to Rangers and fined Enyimba FC the sum of 10 million naira for breaching the frameworks. The Oriental Derby March Day 35 encounter between both teams at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium was abandoned following the controversial penalty awarded to the home team, Rangers International, in the dying minutes. Meanwhile, Rangers will pay a fine of 5 million naira for various offences, including non-provision of